I recording right now? Yeah, exactly. That's what I want. I want you all to smile and to have an enjoyable evening with me here. Let me try to share with you my screen. Where is my screen? Okay, share screen. Here we go. And let me share this with you. Okay, let me just enlarge it. Here we go. Okay. Every once in a while, I might, welcome somebody. So it's okay. Let me try to put this aside a little bit here, far away. Okay, no problem. So last time we talked about skill 21. We began skill 21 last time, I think, right? But probably we did not finish it. Let me enlarge because all of you guys like enlarging the screen. I think that is based on your request. Enlarging the screen is based on your request, right? Yeah. I'm sorry. Go down here. Okay. So we said last time, no, not this one, not 21. I think 21 we discussed it. We didn't have a problem with it. It was the skill that I wanted to talk about was skill 22. That was the one that, we covered last time, but I felt that we did not cover it enough. And that's why, I would like to take another look at it. All right. And this too, let's just put it down here. And it was make inverted verbs agree. I think that we should have given this more time just because we're not talking about, one kind of sentence or one kind of way in which we make inverted verbs agree. Every time there's a case, that's why. Now, what do we mean by inverted verbs? Quickly, let me just revise this, okay, with you. Inverted verbs, in sentences in English, we usually have something like a sentence like Ahmad is tall, right? Ahmad is tall. So if we're going to invert the verb here in this sentence, Ahmad is tall, it's going to be is Ahmad tall, right? Invert means like change its position, to invert, okay? To bring it up in the front, like this sentence, look, where was is before the subject bicycles, okay? So that's what we mean by inverted verbs. Like when do we have verbs inverted in this way? Of course, there are certain, situations and we have verbs inverted. Here they are. Let me show you where they are. And this is very good. It's very good to take a look at the table because the table has like some kind of a summary of all the situations in which verbs are inverted. Inverted means that they are at the beginning, that is before the subject. When do we have this case? When we are asking a question, like the question that I just asked you, I said, is Ahmad a member of this group, all right, of the TOEFL group, all right? So is began first before Ahmad, which is the subject, right? And then sometimes in negative cases, what do you mean by negative, okay? Negative means there's negative meaning, all right? That's what it means by negative. For example, when we use seldom, when we use only once, for example, these are cases, okay? So we have the verb before the subject. Only once did I visit you, for example. See, only one time. So it shows like, lack and negativity, okay? Only one sandwich did I eat, probably, okay? Or was I allowed to eat, for example, all right? Something of that kind. So how about place? Place is just like the example that we discussed last time. Here you go. Place, like this one, behind the house. Then we had was the bicycles, Got the idea? This is the place. In my house, maybe we might say, in my house. At the university, for example, were the exam papers that we, would like to have back or return back, okay? Something of that kind, all right? Were the exam papers. So were came, which is the verb, is inverted in this, it's a sentence and it's inverted, okay? Why? Just because we said at the university, which is, what is that called? At the university, go back, It has to do with, what does it say here? Place. At the university is a phrase that refers to place, okay? And we said conditions without, with no if, like this example. Let me show you this example, because, where do we have one that has an without if, so that it could be clear to you? What in the world? Where is it? Not this one. What in the world is the question? Here, this one.
Four.
Exactly.
Yes.
Thank you. Who said 4?
Yes.
Let me see who's faster than I am.
Yes.
Dr. Khulud,
Number 4,
right?
doctor.
Thank you so much for that. Look for another one.
Me,
While I
Khulud.
discuss this one, okay? Thank you for that. You know, yes. So take a look at 4. John would be studying the chapters were he, like if he were able, if he were, because we say, if he were able, but because we removed if, we can do this inversion, were he able. Were he able means if was here, we have to have he were able. Got it? Because we removed if, we can do this inversion. It's allowed in English, okay? And it says here, conditions with no if, you can have inversion. It's allowed, okay? Just to remind you. And then also with what? Comparisons, all right? What does that mean with comparisons? Is there a case where there's a comparison? Like this one, 5. This chapter has many more. Look at more. More is used to compare, isn't it? More than, right? So this chapter has many more exercises than, look, do the next one. But of course, do is wrong. Then does the next one, it should be, because I'm talking about this chapter. Has more exercises than does, I'm talking about what, this one, the next one. So exactly, yeah. Than does the next one. I'm talking about one. Yeah. One, we say with one, do or does? What do we say with one? Singular. We do
the
say
next
do
one,
or does?
Chapter, yes.
Yeah, we say does. The inversion is fine. The problem is not here with the inversion. Yes. It's also, the problem here is with what?
With that, do.
Yes, that we need to
do
change
the verb
from do to does, okay? Because one here is singular. That's why, okay? So our lesson is about is about allowing the inversion to happen. That is, we can have the verb before the subject just like this with comparisons. When we say than, we're comparing. Comparisons with conditions like we just saw this example here in 4, with no if, with place, okay? With what did we also say? With negatives, with negatives means negative in terms of meaning, with questions in general, questions that we have, most questions, let me say. So we have this inversion, it's fine. However, we don't want to just say that inversion is fine. We also want to say that, we want to make the verbs agree. That means the verb and the subject, which is after the verb, it must have agreement. What does that mean? It must have agreement. Who can remind us what that means again? What does agreement mean? A while ago, we explained this to one of your classmates right now, or I reminded her because she raised her hand and asked about this issue. Who can remind us? Yes, Dr. Khulud, what does that mean to agree?
That means if the subject is singular, the verb should be single. If the subject is plural, the verb should be plural. Yes.
Thank you so much for your assistance. Amazing. So after you finish your current position, Dr. Khulud, you can become an English professor too. Okay? How about that? Okay. Now, let's
I hope that, but not like you.
At least you can teach
not
your
like
loved ones and your children, huh?
I'm not, we have that. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyway. So you got this. I just thought that I felt that because, each, situation deserves, attention here. That's why when I looked at them, I thought that, well, it wouldn't be enough just to discuss place, and then quickly run over one example related to question and then we're done. Okay. So I thought about this. So I said, every one of these should be discussed in a certain way. For example, like an example on each one, they are 5, we should at least have discussed 5. This is what I just said to myself, all right, when I was at home, all right? So if you take a look at sentence 1, only once this morning, were the letters. So there's inversion, of course, were the letters delivered by the campus mail service. What do you think of the sentence? The answer is there, really, it's correct, okay? Why? Because we have here place, not place, negativity, we call this only one time, just, that's it. That's negativity, all right? This morning, time expression, were the letters, that is the letters were, okay? So they have to be what? They have to be what? Of the same, what do we call it? of the same agreement. They have to agree, right? That's what we have to do here. And over here, of course, they agree plural with plural. And of course, the letters were delivered. Were the letters delivered means the letters were delivered because it's passive. And it's clear. It's even, clear who delivers the letters by the campus mail service. Now, about the second one, as you can see, the second sentence, let's quickly take a look at it. Around the corner and to the right, just like the previous example that we discussed, nothing is wrong with this. This is fine. It's amazing. Nothing is wrong. This is what? Place. Around the corner and to the right. However, and we do have in Virgin, by the way, the verb is first, and then we have the subject, the rooms. But is it fine? Is it correct? Is with rooms? It is not. We said it's incorrect. So we need to, decide that this is incorrect. But if we want to correct the mistake, we have to put are the rooms,
yes.
Or we can say is the room, right? And then we have to make more changes. That has, if we want to make the singular. Okay, so you decide. The best decision is to correct with the least corrections. And if we want to correct with the least corrections, just change is to are and we are fine.
Is are.
Okay, to are.
Choose the
So,
yes.
if in the exam you correct in a different way and it's correct, the sentence, I don't mind, even if it's a long correction, no problem. Okay. However, in general, in the TOEFL exam, they prefer the correction that you decide to use, which is, which shows, let me say, the least correction. Okay. Just like one move. Okay. And everything is correct.
Minimal correction.
Exactly. Now, this is a question. Look at it. And it starts with what? What in the world? So we do have the verb before the subject. Is the children or are the children?
Are the children should be.
Exactly. Because children is
plural. Yes,
child, children. But it's not the regular plural. Because the regular plural, in the regular plural, we just add an S to the noun, right? So this is an irregular plural form. The plural for child is children. And so it's plural. This has to be are. All right. Let's do, for example, 4. John would be studying the chapters were he, that means if he were, but there's in Virgin because we removed if. Were he able to get hold of the book? What do you think of this, sentence which has if with no if, which is a conditional sentence with no if? What do you think? Is it correct? It's correct, by the way. Do you know why? Because this is conditional sentence type 2.
Yes,
it's allowed to have, it's not just allowed. We are forced to flip the let me say was to were. Okay, just to let you know in type 2. Okay. So if I were you, I would review conditional sentences. There are lots of great YouTubers or YouTube videos, let me say, who discuss the conditional sentences. Okay. And if I were you, I would make sure that the speaker, is, let me say, either British or American, not a second language learner. I don't want to be against those people, but I mean, it would be better so that, that you gain more, let me say. I hope so, that you gain more, all right, in that way. Where are we? So we want to take a look at 5. This chapter has many more exercises than, so we have here what? Comparison. Remember, guys, we talked about comparison. When there's comparison, we have, in Virgin. So we do have in Virgin. The verb is before the subject, but the problem here is that they don't agree. Because when you say the next one, you need to, it's singular. This has to be does and not do. Okay, so this chapter has many more exercises than does the next one. That means than what? The next one. All right, then the one that follows. All right, then does the next one. Okay, all right. So I hope you understand this. How about choosing one of these, 6, 7, 8, or 9? Which one would you guys like to do? One of you decide. 6, 7, 8, 9, or even 10. 10 is fine. You can choose 10 even if you want. So from among these, let's make a choice. Who would like to do one?
Would you mean to do 6?
I do not mind. How about you? Go ahead and do 6 for us. Come on, Dr. Khulud, 6 for us.
Okay.
The computer programmer, Yalla, Dr. Khulud, I'm listening to you. We're all listening. All ears to you.
6 or 10? Do you need 6 or 10?
It's up to you. What do you want? You said, I think you said 6.
6. Yeah, 6. The computer program was unaware that there was, yes. 6, the computer program was unaware that there was so many mistakes. The program he had written. So many is plural. Was is verb is singular. There is an we should change was to where?
Thank you. Correct. Because we do have inversion. It's fine. No problem with the inversion. The problem is
What
that
about
when we
we
had
have-
the inversion, we did not, make sure that there's agreement between the verb and the following subject, which is mistakes here. So it should be plural. The computer programmer, مبرمج الحاسوب, was unaware, كان غير مدرك, that there were, إنه كان هنالك, so many mistakes, أخطاء كثيرة in the program, في البرنامج. Which program? The one he had written, اللي كتبه. All right, in the program he had written. Okay, so the problem is just that, the verb should agree with mistakes, which is the subject that followed the verb, because, we have inversion here because this sentence has comparison. Let's do one more. Let's have Dr. Noura do 10 for us. Thank you, Dr. Khulud. Dr. Noura, how about you do 10?
Yes, doctor. Number
Yeah,
10.
Mm-hmm.
In the parking lot south of the stadium was the cars that were about to be towed. Yes, doctor, it's correct one.
Are you sure? Look at cars and look at was. Is this fine?
Was.
المهم يعني
لا
لازم نعمل
دكتورة
this
هي
correct?
where cars.
Dr. Ruba? Dr. Ruba, you have noise coming from your mic. So if, let me
السلام عليكم
try
دكتورة. دكتورة والله
to...
ما احنا فاهمين إشي.
No, it's okay. It's okay. We are fine and nothing is wrong. However, I will try
دكتورة
to...
معلش دكتورة في تداخل كثير، معلش بس تنبه عليهم يطفوا المايكات.
Okay, I did that. Let's just ask Dr. Noura. Noura again, can you remove the aywa? Yeah. Yeah, you guys
Okay,
are,
doctor.
all adults and old enough. I don't have to say this to you guys, okay? Yeah. Yes, Dr. Noura, go ahead. Tell us about 10 again. Did you notice what your problem was, Dr. Noura?
Yes, doctor
Yeah.
was the verb and the cars, it's the subject.
So what do we need to change this into were, right? So this sentence
Were.
is mistaken, is incorrect. So in the
Incorrect, sorry.
parking lot,
Incorrect.
in the parking lot, يعني في الباركينج مكان اصطفاف السيارات. In that place, south of the stadium, اللي موقع هذا الباركينج lot, south في جنوب الستاديوم. stadium اللي هو الستاديوم اللي بيصير عليه هلا العاب كرة القدم بسموها stadium، الملعب. alright، هذا اللي بيصير فيه انه عفوا اللي هي لعبة كرة القدم بسميه مدرج خاص بالألعاب alright، أو في لعب football and other stuff. Okay, that's called a stadium. أيوة, the stadium was the cars? Of course not. غلط, because we said in the parking lot south of the stadium. هذا place، هذا مكان. كل هاي العبارة بتدل على مكان. Okay, and when we have a phrase that refers to place like this, we can do inversion. Well, inversion salim, هيو في verb before the subject. Okay, but is it correct? No, because احنا ما عم نحكي عن stadium here, احنا بنحكي عن cars. Here's the subject. Okay, so were the cars. كانت السيارات. Were has to be, was has to be were and not was. This is incorrect. Okay, that were about to be towed. يعني السيارات اللي كانت يعني على وشك انه يتم سحبها. towed maybe صافين غلط. تعرفوا الشرطة إذا واحد صاف غلط في مكان لفترة طويلة ممكن إنه يسحبوا سيارته, right? They might take his car away or her car away. Okay? Are we all fine with this, everyone? All right. We want to move on to a new exercise now, a new skill. Okay? Let's take a look at, let me just make this smaller and then we will go to a new skill. Make verbs agree after certain words. Today we want to take this, make verbs agree after certain words, okay? Certain words in English are always grammatically singular. What does this mean? That after certain words, we need to make our verbs agree with those words. Like if the words are singular, the verb should be singular. If the word is a noun, yani, okay? If it's plural, we need the verb to be plural. Okay? Now, some people make mistakes with these words. You see these words? These are nouns. These words are what? Are nouns. Okay? What about them? Some people think they are plural, these words. Anybody, anyone, anything, everybody. Mostly these. Every. كل حد, كل شخص, كل شيء. Nobody, لا أحد. No one, لا أحد كمان. nothing, لا شيء. Anybody يعني أي شخص. Anyone نفس anybody بس كلمة يعني بتختلف بالشكل بس same meaning. Anyone أي شخص كمان. Anything أي شيء. Thing لأنه شيء. You know that. Somebody شخص ما. Someone كمان نفس الشيء نفس المعنى بس يعني طريقة عرض تانية. Someone كمان شخص ما. Something شيء ما. Each يعني كل زي ما بقول المصريين كل حاجة. Each what? Each person. We say sometimes. Each what? Book sometimes. All right? So each is followed after it. There is a noun. Every what? Every book sometimes we might say. Every pen. Every pen. So we need a noun after this. طبعا والnoun here, what about it? هدول كلهم يعاملوا معاملة what? What do you think? Singular. مفرد. Okay? Some people think that they are plural nouns. في كتير ناس بيغلطوا فيهم هدول بفكروا إنه لأنهم بيشيروا لمجموعة خاصة هاي everybody. Okay, everyone, everything, all right? They think that since they refer to more than one person, they themselves are plural. No, these are singular. Okay? ماشي هم بيحتووا على مجموعة بس الكلمة نفسها شكلها مفرد وتعامل معاملة المفرد. Let's take a look. Certain words, بعض الكلمات اللي هنا هدول اللي عم بيحكوا عنهم, all right, are always grammatically singular. دائما قواعديا نعاملهم معاملة السنجلر المفرد. Even though they might have plural meanings. حتى لو محتوى بمعناهم plural الجمع. Look at this example. انظروا لهذا المثال. Everybody are going to the theater. This is wrong. Star شو قلنا عن star هايدي زي هيك? That means there's a mistake. There's a problem. So everybody is going to the theater. يعني الجميع رايح على السينما. Theater is like the place where you can watch a movie. Okay? Is going. All right? Even though we understand from this example that a lot of people are going, وحتى ولو إنه من هالمثال شو بنفهم إنه a lot of people are going to the theater. Everybody, هاي الكلمة everybody ومشتقاتها وخواتها هدول. All of these words are what? Words that we treat as singular. So everybody is singular and requires a singular verb. Okay? Hey, be careful. Remember this. The plural verb, الفعل هذا are going, ماله? Should be changed to the singular verb is going. لازم يتحول, لازم يتغير ل is going. Because the word is singular. لأنه خلاص قلنا إنه everybody is a singular noun. Okay? The following chart lists the grammatically singular words that have plural meaning. هاي الchart, هذا الجدول, it has words that are what? They are grammatically singular. يعني قواعديا بنعاملهم معاملة المفرد. يعني إذا بدي أستخدم وراهم فعل, الفعل بده يكون فعل مفرد. ما إحنا عم نحكي عن agreement. Agreement يعني هدول اللي راح يكونوا ممكن يكونوا subjects في الجمل. لما أنا بدي أحط وراهم فعل, when I want to put a verb after them, okay, because I want to say maybe nobody is nice. نحكي هاي الجملة. ما حدا منيح بالدنيا. Nobody's nice. طبعا, of course, we have to say not that, not nobody's nice. Like some. Some people are nice. Why did I say are? Because I did not say somebody. I said some people. I changed the word people. I didn't use one of these. So be careful. People is plural. So I can say are nice. Okay? Okay, I hope that this was clear and that you don't make a mistake in this ever again. All right? Let's take a look at these examples. I should have enlarged, I'm sorry, the screen for you. I'm going to do that now. Should have done it earlier. No one reminded me, and sometimes I forget, so forgive me. Okay, so we have 1 to 10. See those sentences? Yeah, let me have hands up. Who would like to do one of these? Tell us whether it's correct. See, it says here, each of the following sentences contains one of the words that are grammatically singular, but have plural meanings. underline these words. So please, if you find the word that we're talking about here, underline it. Underline the verbs twice and the verbs twice, then indicate if the sentences are correct or incorrect. Let's have, where are you guys? Why is no one speaking? We just have 2 people speaking. I know that some of you are on the way, and I know I appreciate the fact that you're trying your best to be with us, but if you can just sometimes, participate, if it works out, I would really appreciate that. Okay. All right, everybody, please try to participate so that, we can, you feel that you are really working. When you participate and are a part of this, you do much better. All right. And some of you have not taken the quiz. So if you have not taken the quiz, when we take the midterm, I'm going to count it as both a quiz and a midterm. Okay. So next time we meet on Saturday, we're not going to take an exam, okay, or a quiz, okay? Just to give you a break from quizzes, and so that we won't consume the time taking quizzes, all right? But the time after next, there will be either a quiz or a midterm. You will decide, okay, by that time. All right, let's move on to Dr. Hiba. Would you like to do one of these sentences? Choose, you have from 1 to 10, a choice. Make a choice from 1 to 10.
Okay, hello, doctor. Number 4.
4.
Everybody participating in the fundraiser are to run in the tickets by it. It's wrong, incorrect, because we have the verb is are. So is wrong according to everybody is the subject.
Thank you so much. بالضبط. So everybody is one of the, this is the subject. Everybody, and we describe this everybody participating in the fundraiser. المشاركين في جمع التبرعات, all right? كل الناس المشاركين في جمع المتبرعات. But we said that everybody grammatically is dealt with as singular. And so the verb, singular it should be. It's not here singular. So we should change this to singular. Everybody participating in the fundraiser is to turn in the tickets. لازم يسلم. Turn in means يسلم. The tickets التذاكر by 8 o'clock بحلول الساعة 8. يعني معاكم من now للساعة 8. أشوف ضل وقت. Oh my God, you only have 3 minutes.
3 minutes, yeah.
All right, let's do another. Thank you so much. You did an amazing job. So this over here is incorrect, and now we know why it is incorrect. Let's have someone else. Yes, Dr. Khulud, which one do you want to choose?
I will choose number 5. Yes, because of the low number of orders, nothing has to be done. Nothing need the singular, has is the singular. The sentence is correct.
Correct. Amazing. Thank you so much. Yes, because we're talking about these words. You remember the words that we said that are subjects and they should be treated as singular. And so it is treated here as singular, nothing. Because of the low number of orders, comma, good. Nothing is our subject here. Has, the verb, has to be done now. We want to focus on this here, right? It's fine. Okay? So because of the low number of orders, بسبب قلة عدد الطلبات, يعني nothing has to be done now. ما في داعي نعمل أي شيء الآن. ما في داعي نعمل أي شيء, الآن. That's what the sentence means in Arabic, right? One more, and then we need to move on to the next lesson, okay? Because I think there isn't a lot of variety here, even though they are different subjects and nouns, but they, the same structure is what we apply to them, all right? Yeah. So let's have Dr. Noura Al-Huwari.
Yes, Doctor. Number 9. It's nice to believe that anything is possible if a person tries hard enough. It is correct one, because anything singular is possible. It's the verb singular, so it's the correct one.
Amazing. So it is nice to believe that anything is possible. Yes, يعني جميل جدا إنه الواحد يعتقد إنه كل شيء يعني محتمل إنه يصير. طبعا إحنا قصدنا عن الإيجابيات يعني صراحة here in such a sentence. طبعا ليه؟ لأنه عم نحكي if a person tries hard enough. يعني إذا الواحد ببذل جهد وبيحاول ما في شيء مستحيل. يعني so many people always, depress others and tell them, you can never become this, you can never do that, you can never go, you can never come, we have to decide that, not to do things like that, okay? Either we encourage people or we zip it. We are silent. It would be better, okay? We want to be motivators and we want to help people, achieve their goals and succeed, all right? Otherwise, it's better not to say anything, all right? Even if you think that, some people's, let me say, chances are thin, as we say, or slim, right? We want to move on to something new right now. We want to move on to problems with parallel structure, and then I'm going to give you a break after problems with parallel structure, okay? And the break will be like 10 minutes, okay? So I hope that's, satisfying, all right? Based on your request, you complained about not having a break, and so I'm going to give you one. Student power or participants' power is at work here, So problems with parallel structure. What is parallel structure? We have to know what this means, The structure of our sentence, should be parallel. That is when you have, honestly speaking, more than one phrase, okay, sometimes like this, okay? They have to be parallel. Parallel means mutawaziyan, we say in Arabic, right? لازم يكون في توازي. يعني you cannot use to infinitive and then ing form. Either this or that. You make a decision or separate them and have two sentences. So in the same sentence, let me say, when you want to mention, let me say, a certain structure, all right? And there's some kind of connector in the middle, like this, okay? Like and, the structure before the connector and the structure after the connector, they should parallel each other. لازم يتوازوا. يكون في زي توازن, okay? Yeah, so many students, fall into this mistake. And so many people who are second language learners, they fall into this mistake, okay? Nobody's perfect, And then you learn that it's not suitable, to write in this way or to speak in this way, okay? So in good English, see, good English, we're not saying just, to send a message. You can send a message when you say such a sentence, by the way, you send the message, okay? And it's loud and clear, by the way. All right. But this is not good English. You reflect bad English when you speak like this or write like this. Okay. So in good English, an attempt means محاولة, should be made to make the language as even and balanced as possible. لازم يكون في عنا محاولة لما نحكي to what? To make language, نجعل لغتنا اللي بنحكيها in English as even and balanced, يعني متوازنة متوازية. All right. Yeah. This balance, هذا balance اللي هو إيش الموازنة, is called parallel structure. بيسموا هذا البناء أو هاي الطريقة في الكلام, where you have to sing and then maybe to dance, parallel, because if it's not like that, we will say this is unparallel, okay? And then we consider it incorrect even, okay? The following is an example of a sentence that is not parallel in terms of structure, okay? Look at this. I like, what? To sing. And what should we say here? Look at the star. Remember what I said about the star? That means this structure is incorrect.
To dance, yeah.
And to dance. Good job. Here, the problem in this sentence is not the expression to sing. Yani, this is not a problem when you say to sing. And the problem is not the word dancing. And dancing, the word itself is not a problem. We say, I like dancing. It's fine. All right. The expression to sing is correct by itself. Like if you say, I like to sing. And if you say again, I like dancing. All right. That's fine too. All right. So each one by itself, like if I like is with dancing and I like is to sing together like that, they're separated, two different sentences, that's fine. So that's not the problem. What's the problem? And the word dancing is, etc., is correct by itself. Both of the following sentences are correct. Look how they separate them into different sentences, and this is fine. Okay, so the structures are not the problem. What's the problem? The problem is when you link them, together in that way. Okay. Yeah, the problem is in the incorrect example, is that to sing and dancing are joined together in one sentence with and. This is the problem, is that when they're joined, you have to have, it's like, this is what, guys, like, the middle part of the seesaw, the seesaw, this has to be equal to this in terms of weight, all right? And it's not, all right? Or here we say in terms of structure, of course. They are different forms where it is possible to have similar forms. And you can have similar forms. Why do you make different forms? Why do you compose different forms? Don't do that. Therefore, the example is not parallel, we say. It can be corrected in two. See, corrected, that means what? It's wrong. All right? In two different ways. We can make the first expression like the second, or we can make the second expression like the first. So we can say either, I like to sing and to dance, or we can say, I like singing and dancing. Of course, you know, when I teach writing, I always deal with this issue with my students, and I always tell them, you know, that they need to use parallel structures. All right. Yeah. So this is among the things that we talk about when I teach writing to my students. All right. Is that it? Do we have more? Here, let me just see if I have to lift this up. Okay. Yeah, I think this was discussed. All right, so then we have to move on, I'm sorry, to what is next, which is the next page, right? Let me see. Okay, so let me enlarge this. Enlarge. Okay, there's a lot to say about this issue, as you can see. Okay, a lot, because we're going to talk about so many different kinds of structures here, okay, where we have to be parallel. Okay, here it is. So that the previous conversation that we just had, you know, about, you know, using parallel structure was like an introduction to this lesson, which is skill 24. Okay, what does the skill say? It repeats the idea. Use parallel structure, with coordinate conjunctions. So these are coordinate conjunctions. Do you remember them? And, but, or. What else did we take? You remember? Yet, right? And so were those the the conjunctions that we call coordinate conjunctions, right? Coordinate connectors. Yes. All right. So the job of the coordinate conjunctions and, but, or, we only need these only, okay, in these sentences, okay, because the others, we don't use them in such sentences to link, okay, that's why, is to join together equal expressions, okay, these are, what's the goal? To use it to connect equal expressions. In other words, what is on one side of these words must be, see, underline this, what is on one side, must parallel to what is, must be parallel to what is on the other side, like when we took the to infinitive and the ing form. These conjunctions can join what? They can join nouns, not only nouns or verbs or adjectives or even phrases. See, guys, so before we talked about what? Verb forms. When we say ing and when we said to infinitive, they are verb forms, all right? But we can also connect nouns with each other in this way, adjectives together, phrases. When we say adjectives, that means adjective clauses even, okay? Even different kinds of phrases. We have to make sure that the phrases are parallel, okay? Subordinate clauses, Subordinate, that means what? When we talk about subordinates, that means dependent clauses, okay? Or main clauses, you know, the clauses that look like they are sentences because they don't have really connectors connected to them, but they complete ones which are subordinate clauses, right? They just must join together two of the same thing, okay? Here are examples. Look at these examples about all of these things that were just mentioned. Look at this. I need to talk to the manager. I need to talk then to the manager, to, what? Noun, preposition and then noun, or, the manager or the assistant manager. So these are nouns, the manager or the assistant manager. Nothing is wrong with this. This is fine. So this is a good way of using parallel structure. I think all of these are, you know, written down in a correct way. Because remember what I told you guys before, there are two ways to teach something. Sometimes we teach through modeling. That means we show you correct examples and we ask you to imitate them or to make sure that later on that sentences are written in the same way. And sometimes we use mistakes to teach you, okay, what is correct, okay? By fixing the mistake, by showing you the mistake, by discussing the mistake and why it's wrong, okay? Explaining that and show, and then at the end still we're going to give you the model, the correct form, all right? That's also a way, you know, to teach you. Look at this example. She is not A teacher, again, a noun. See, she is not a teacher, but a lawyer. Okay. So if I see someone and I know they are not, that someone is not a teacher, I'm sorry, I can say something about this someone who is a female. She is not a teacher. Simply not discuss the whole world and say, no, she is a lawyer, just but. That's enough to say that she is not a teacher, But, however, on the other hand, she's a, lawyer. So a teacher, a lawyer. Look at but is like the middle, part of the seesaw. Okay. A teacher is a noun and the lawyer is a noun. So they're kind of parallel here, we say. You can choose, look at this sentence. You can choose from activities, such as, again, nouns, but in the ing form, such as, you can choose from activities such as hiking and kayaking, okay? So hiking, you know what hiking means, right? Climbing, walking, all right? Sometimes, walking and climbing, wherever. It could be in the woods, could be in the forest, could be on deserts, could be on plains, could be in different places, all over different kinds of land, all right? That is to walk for very long distances, and then kayaking, it's like using a certain kind of boat to probably to, let me say, be in a river or in some kind of a, area where there's water. Kayaking, I think the kayak is a kind of boat where people race, sometimes use it to race or something like that in rushing water. Okay. Well, you can still look that up. I've never done this before, but that's what I think it is. All right. So anyway, see, look, guys, are these parallel, hiking and kayaking? Are they? Yes or no? Just say yes or no.
Yes, Dr. Hiking
Can I
and
help you
kayaking.
cheat? Yes. You can have, instead of kayaking, running if you don't like kayaking, all right? Yeah, the idea is that we want parallel structures, okay, between what, guys? The parallel structure where there is a conjunction, coordinate conjunction that is and, like something like and in the middle, not just and, but or, okay? Okay, we want to move on to the next set of examples. Here are examples of two verbs joined by a coordinate conjunction. So here we're talking about not nouns, we're talking about verbs that are joined together with by a coordinate conjunction. So I want to describe someone's actions, all right? I say he eats and sleeps only when he takes a vacation. Wow. Is that when he eats and sleeps? That's strange. Do you do something like this, guys? Do you eat and sleep only on vacations? That is a strange sentence. Isn't it a strange sentence? What do you think, guys? One of my friends once told me that I eat, and probably talk only when I'm at university. So that is really funny, isn't it? So at home, she never eats, so she gets thinner and thinner at home, and she's always silent at home. That's really strange, yeah. But some people are like that. Yeah, it's strange people. Not strange, well, they're unique, let's say, okay? So this person eats. I just think that when he says, when I say I eat, that means I eat more. Doesn't mean I eat. Of course, everybody eats every day probably, but some people, if they kind of write down what they eat, they don't eat that much. So this person is, when he says I eat and sleep only on vacations, he means that, he's, he really sleeps enough and eats enough. That's probably what he means, all right, here, because the person here is a he. So he eats and sleeps. Look at the idea here is, look at the parallel structure. Eats, present simple, sleeps, only when he takes a vacation. Like every time he's on vacation or he takes a vacation, he eats and sleeps. Okay. Other than that, he does not. All right. Take a look at the next example. She invites us to her home. She invites. We're talking about verbs here because they said from the very beginning, on two verbs. She invites us to her home, but invites, but never talks. Look at the verb. Are they parallel? Invites and talks with us. So they are parallel. Okay. That's not nice. That's not nice. What do you think, guys? If you invite someone to your home, shouldn't you talk to them? Yeah, but some people, I don't know, they invite you and they don't even say ahlan wa sahlan. Well, that's the least thing they can say if there are so many people, coming to your house, right? Yeah. So she invites us to her home يعني بتعزمنا على بيتها لكن but never بالمرة بتحكيش معانا whenever she invites us but لكن doesn't talk to us. Never means does not. Okay, talk to us really. Okay, look at the next sentence. You can stay home.
Doctor,
Yeah.
Doctor, we can say but doesn't talk to with us.
Yes, of course you can. You can say but doesn't talk. It means the same as never talks equals doesn't talk. Same.
Same barrel.
Yes, same.
Barrel.
Present simple. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So this is fine. If you say she invites us to her home but doesn't talk with us, it's also correct. Okay.
Yeah.
The same. Like it's the same, different ways of saying the same thing.
Yes.
All right. The last sentence here, you can stay home or go to the movies with us. So stay home, go, stay, go. Can is an, you know what, it's a verb that is called a model verb, and after it we have a base form, stay, go. Okay. So this is what we mean by the verbs here themselves are parallel. They are both infinitive. Okay, we use them in this kind of way. So إما بتبقى في البيت أو بتيجي معنا نحضر فيلم أو نروح على السينما نحضر فيلم. That's what it really means over here. More examples, but here the examples, the next set of examples, these are a set, right? Of two adjectives joined by a coordinate conjunctions. We have a conjunction, I'm sorry. We have adjectives now. Sometimes, you want to describe someone. Sometimes you describe people with more than one description, with more than one adjective, right? Say my son, my daughter, my friend, my, the workplace is what? Okay. So we describe sometimes things, right? With more than one adjective. One adjective is not satisfying sometimes to us, right? How do we do that? So look at this. I want to talk about my boss. So I say my boss is, now to describe him, sincere, wafi, and nice, walatif. So these are nice, good, adjectives and characteristics that is of my boss. The exam, and مش بس the exam, I want to use a that clause, بدي أوصف that clause now. The exam that he gave, الexam اللي أعطانا إياه ماله, was, now to describe it, the one that, the exam that he gave, was short, صح قصير, but difficult. مش كل مرة الامتحان بكون قصير معناها سهل. So be careful. So we think that short sometimes, some people would think that short means easy. No, not necessarily. All right. Short, but difficult. All right. I usually give short exams to my students. And when I do, I don't decide that I want it to be difficult, or I don't give it to them, because I don't give them short and difficult, but I do short, but challenging. Challenging means there's a little bit of challenge. They need to think about some of the questions, not all of them. All right. Yeah, because, what's the use of an exam if you're going to kind of, copy paste what you got? You have to sometimes think about something. All right. So, see, short, and this is a coordinate conjunction. Then we have another adjective, which is difficult. More sentences that link adjectives with each other. Look, class can be interesting. Class المحاضرة يعني. All right. ممكن أن تكون can be interesting. So not every day when you come to class is interesting, right? Sometimes, the professor is not so interested in the topic or in teaching. We're human beings at the end of the day, sometimes. And so the outcome could be that the class is boring to you, right? Or maybe the topic is one that you don't like. So class can be interesting or boring. المحاضرة ممكن تكون ممتعة أو what? Boring. So this is an adjective and this is an adjective. And not only, are these adjectives ing form adjectives, but they are, adjectives also. They are adjectives. We can use them whether they are ing or not, but at the same time, they are ing. Looks like, double parallel we have here. All right. Let's take a look at the next set of
adjectives.
Here are examples of two phrases. Now we want to use, phrases. Phrases, that means a set of words together, all right? And these, phrases are joined by a coordinate conjunction. Again, we said coordinate conjunction means and, it means or it could be but. That's how we join, let me say, adjective, verbs, nouns, phrases in that way, okay? Let's take a look at this example. There are students in the class. So here, the phrase is what? Is a prepositional phrase, as you can see. See, in the classroom. There are students in the classroom and in front of the building, right? Yeah, during recess. You know what recess is? Who knows what recess is? Recess. Recess, الفرصة. فترة الاستراحة in English, it's called recess, okay? So sometimes during recess, because I was a school teacher like 14 years ago, I was a school teacher, okay? And I taught for 9 years at school. Anyway, sometimes during recess, I might tell I might have told my colleagues something like this, There are students in the classroom and in front of the building. Maybe those are places that students should not be, in, all right? So can you go help me out and let's, take them out of those places, because there are students in the classroom, and in front of the building. And those are not places where we want students to be or to hang out, all right? Mainly during recess, okay? So this is a prepositional phrase in the classroom, and this is another one in front of the building, all right? So in the classroom, in, front of the building, this is another prepositional phrase, all right? Or at the front part of the building, yeah, that's an area. So anyway, let's move on to the next sentence. The papers are, where are the papers? Prepositional phrase, on my desk or in the drawer. Okay, so I might ask a student to go to my office, and to bring me, the exam papers, because I probably have forgotten them, forgot to brought them, I have forgotten to bring them to the classroom. So I might ask a student and tell him, can you please go to my office and bring the exam papers? You might, you might find them, or the papers are either, on my desk or in the drawer. So look there and look there, all right? Or in the drawer. So it's either this or that. I'm not sure. That's why we say or. Got it? So we use this sentence all the time, Next sentence. The checks will be ready. If somebody, someone who works at a bank, promised to write you a check or to give you a check, they will tell you something like this. The checks will be ready, or if it's not one check, it's more than one check. The checks will be ready, not at noon. Not at noon, not at 12 o'clock. Noon is 12 o'clock. Do you know that? Noon, because afternoon means after 12. Okay, so at noon means exactly at 12 o'clock. So not at noon, but now at noon, but it's negative. But at 1 o'clock. So this is what we mean by a phrase, okay, and a phrase here, okay. So these are, let me say, parallel structures. Again, look, or on my desk, in the drawer, these are parallel structures, we say, okay? And, parallel structures are used, where with, phrases just like these, the ones that we have right here. Here are examples of two clauses. Now we want to talk about what? Using clauses, joined by a coordinate conjunction. These are clauses, all right? Remember the clauses that we took with that start with which, that start with that, all right? That start with but, probably, all right? Because, look at here what we have, but, because, what else, what, see? So different kinds of clauses here. So they are not interested, what? In what you say or what you do. What you say is a clause, and what you do is another clause. So they are not interested, هم مش سائلين, مش مهتمين, بشو? In what you say, باللي بتحكيه أو اللي تعمله, all right? يعني, this is not nice, right? Yeah, but some people say sentences like that, all right? يعني, they don't care about what you say or what you do, So you're not important, that's really what it means, and that's not nice. That's not a nice sentence. But for us, we care about the fact that we have, what do we have here? Do we say a clause and another clause? Here, this is a clause. What you say is a clause, and what you do is a clause. All right? Okay. because this clause is what is followed by in over here. This is one, this is another one. And, you know, between them, we have the conjunction or. I am here. Why am I here? Because, now the clause, because I have to be and because I want to be. So this is, the clause, here it is. And the clause itself, you know, contains these two, you know, let me say parallel structures here. I have to be and I want to be. So I am here because what? Because I have to be. يعني مجبور. That's what it means in Arabic. And because I want to be, صح أنا مجبور بس أنا حابب كمان. That's nice. It's really nice to say something like this. Is I'm here, you know, because I have to be لأني مجبور, but أو مضطر بس كمان أنا هي أنا حابة أكون, you know, هون. All right. But this is very nice. I like the sentence, guys. Do you like it? I am here because I have to be and because I want to be. This one, you know, if somebody you know, let me say stops here, I wouldn't be that happy. But then when you say and because I want to be, you know, it's a beautiful sentence, isn't it? Okay, let's move on to this last sentence. Mr. Brown likes. ماذا يحب Mr. Brown? To go home. Mr. Brown likes to go home. بيحب يروح بكير early. But his wife prefers to stay late. So likes, prefers. So Mr. Brown likes to go home early. So this whole sentence is the structure, okay? The parallel structure over here. We don't call it a sentence simply. Do you know why? Although it looks like a sentence because we have comma and but. So it's a clause. This is a clause, but it's a main clause. And this is what, let me say, a dependent clause, all right? This one is subordinate. It depends on this because look what it starts with. See, but it can't stand on its own. That's what we say, all right? So Mr. Brown, subject, verb, etc., complement, likes what? To go home early, prepositional phrase. But on the other side, we have his wife, just like Mr. Brown, his wife here is the subject, prefers, here likes, to stay, to go, to stay late. So this is, you know, you have parallel structure here and here, you know, so the structure is parallel and the conjunction here is but, as you can see. So I hope that, you know, these examples kind of helped you out, help you understand how to use parallel structure when the structure here is what? A coordinate, you know, sorry, when it's when we have two verbs, when we have two adjectives, when we have two phrases, when we have two clauses, okay, when we talked earlier about even when we have two verbs, right? When we have two nouns, okay? So I hope, you know, this was clear and now you are a lot better in, you know, how to use such parallel structures, okay? Let's take a look at the examples here. Usually, you know, when we take examples, things become, you know, clearer, okay, where our problem areas are, what we should work on more, right? Yeah. So it says here, each of the following sentences contains words or groups of words that should be parallel. Circle the word that indicates that the sentence should have parallel parts. Circle what? The word. That is and, or, this is what we want to circle. That means the conjunction, okay? We only have and, or but anyway, okay? That's what indicates that. Circle the word that indicates that the sentence should have parallel parts. Underline the parts that should be parallel, that is before the conjunction and after the conjunction, okay? Then indicate if the sentences are correct or incorrect, okay? Who wants to start you know, this exercise with us? Who wants to start the first sentence? Choose. You can make a choice, by the way. I'm not going to force you to do a specific sentence. Any sentence that you are, you know, at peace with, come and help us out. Noura, Dr. Noura, help us out. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, Doctor. Number 3. She works very hard but usually gets below average grades. هون دكتور بدنا نحكي عن two verb اللي هما gets and hard. Gets هي verb و hard هي adjective, فهي هاي الجملة incorrect.
She works very hard but usually gets below. Why?
Yes,
Why is it
usually. صح. Usually.
No problem. Works. You know
أنا
what
ما
we want
كنت
to look
منتبهة
at?
ل usually.
Listen to me, Dr. Noura. You want
Yes,
to,
doctor.
they have helped you. They have told you, find, first of all, locate. They told you from the beginning. Locate what? Huh? From the beginning.
Mhm.
Circle the word that indicates that the sentence should have parallel structure. First of all, find the word. It's either but, and, or what, or and. But, tamam,
Yes.
here we go.
Tamam.
We said before
Okay.
this and after this, the structures should be parallel. For example,
Yes.
let's take a look. What is here? What do we have here? She works very hard. Huh? So we want to focus here on this verb because they have
Verb,
decided
works.
that, yes, we're going to talk about verbs here, okay? Because we're talking about the same lady here, the same woman. She works very hard, but it's like usually gets means she usually gets. So you can do this. You can do this when you have let me say a conjunction like but. You don't have to repeat she, okay? Because you have a conjunction, okay? So we want to work on the verb here, okay? So she works very hard, but usually gets, works and gets, it's fine. Below average grades. Some people are like that, ya haram. You know, they work a lot, huh? And they think that, you know, they're going to get very high grades, but instead they get below average. Average means like in between. Like she gets low grades, although she's a hard worker. Generally, the sentence is a good sentence, you know, and it happens with people, and nothing is wrong with this sentence. And if you have an objection, let me know so that we can discuss the objection and why you object to, you know, this. Who wants to do? Thank you so much, Dr. Noura. Let's have somebody else. Dr. Ruba, do you have your hand up?
Yes, firstly, I am sorry for bothering you.
No, you're not bothering me at all. Ahlan wa sahlan.
My question about sentence 3. Why there is no a comma before but?
Can you put one for me?
What?
Can you put one for me?
But what?
Put a comma.
Why there is no a comma between before but?
You can put one, okay? I think they forgot it. Or you can just put, yani, if you want to decide that this is incorrect, decide it's incorrect, you know, because there's no comma. But I mean, in general, everything else is covered, right? Like the parallel structures are fine. And you are right. You can say it's incorrect because there isn't a comma. In that case, I would accept, okay?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
I think it's different. There is a difference between the sentence contain a comma or without a comma.
Of course.
We need.
Of course, there's a difference. Yeah, because it makes it, you know, parallel in that way. Okay, and it shows that there's connection between the subject here, before the comma and after. That's why.
If there is a comma, we need a subject after but.
No, we don't, because it's the same subject here.
The same subject. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But she usually gets below average grades. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Do you want to do another one, Dr. Ruba? How about you do another sentence before we stop for a break?
Okay.
Yeah, which sentence would you like to work on?
Anyone, for the speaker introduce himself, told several interesting anecdotes.
Yeah,
and
anecdotes are like small stories, anecdotes.
And finishing with an emotional plea.
So what's the problem?
I think no problem. The speaker introduced, told several interesting and finishing.
Yeah.
Finishing.
You have to have parallel structure. Look, these are past. Told several interesting anecdotes. Introduced, himself. So why not have this structure the same as these? He did this and did this and did that also. Okay.
Finished.
And
finished. Yes. Finished.
Good job.
ED.
Yes. So the speaker introduced himself, like maybe my mom, probably might ask me, where'd you go yesterday? And I would say, oh, I attended this, kind of event where there was someone speaking. And then I tell her something like, the speaker in that event introduced himself, told several interesting anecdotes, like stories, small, short stories, guys. All right. And finished, that's the last thing that he did. And finished his, let me say, presentation. Maybe there was a presentation that he did with an emotional plea, like he requested something, all right, or asked for something, yeah. So let's say that, we want to stop right now for a 10-minute break. 10 minutes is fine, right? Guys? 10 minutes? So it's now, let's say it's 35. 45, I will meet you and we will spend another, half hour together before we end, okay? So 10 minutes. See you guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.